Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be doing some tips and some things that I wish I knew before I started doing these gig economy kind of stuff, these Doordash, Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff. But before we get into this video, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. In that bottom right hand corner, hit that big red subscribe button, as it does go a long way to help me grow this channel. And if you guys do enjoy this video, hit that like button. At the end, if you got any questions, comments, let me know down in the comment section. I do respond to every single comment. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. All right guys, so tip number one, familiarize yourself with the area that you're going to be delivering in. So for me, I live near the area that I deliver in, so I kind of understand before I started driving most of the ins and outs, but I didn't not know where it compares to what I know now. After driving for about 6-7 months now, I know this area like the back of my hand. And it is really good to know, just because you guys don't have to know exactly addresses, right? You just need to know neighborhoods, apartment complexes, and the biggest one is detours. So one big example of this that happened to me was, for a while we had an overpass being built, and when that overpass got built, it was probably 2 or 3 months into my dashing career, I guess you could say. Apple Maps wasn't updated, and that's what I used to drive around and navigate. It wasn't updated with the overpass, so basically it would tell me to go one way and it'd be like a 12-minute drive, and then I could really go the other way and it'd be a 5-minute drive. And that's just huge. For those of you guys that have been dashing for a little bit, you know that making a delivery in 5 minutes compared to 12 minutes is huge, because it allows you to get back online and accept more orders. All right guys, so my second tip for you is find out what restaurants are fast and efficient, basically. So in my area, a great restaurant for me to deliver from is Chipotle. Chipotle seems to prioritize their online orders, as for the most part they're ready when I get there. If they're not ready when I get there, they're ready slightly after I get there. There's only been a couple incidents where there was they had some technical difficulties and my order wasn't ready, as well as just them being backed up. But for the most part, they've always been pretty on time and pretty ready to go in my area, at least. But there is one restaurant that I'm not going to mention that it does take a little bit extra time, but they tend to have a lot higher payouts, just because I feel like they're a little more expensive. But I do accept some of those just because the payouts are higher. So that's some things that you guys should learn about the restaurants in your area, especially if you're going to be delivering from the same zone multiple times, as I do and as I suggest you do. All right guys, so my third tip is to use multiple apps. Now, I have made a whole video on this, my multi-app strategy, and I'll link it up on top of the cards section here. But basically, to summarize it, what you want to do is, well, what I do is I run Doordash and then I run Postmates behind it. So what I look for is a good Doordash order, and then if I can get a Postmates that is going in a similar direction, I can stack on top, and that's always fun, as well as it just gives me I guess a bigger customer pool, more deliveries options to choose from, which is always nice. So if you guys are more interested in that, be sure to hit that video up. All right guys, so this next tip is huge. Take care of your customer rating and your on-time rating when you guys are first starting out, because if you get one bad customer rating or or you're late or something like that, it really affects your rating, as you don't have a ton of numbers in there to impact it. So it's kind of like the beginning of a semester when you get an F on a test and your grade just drops. It's similar to that. So be sure when you're starting out to take care of your customer rating and try your best to be on time. I really don't have a problem with that, unless I'm doing stacked orders. So stacked orders might be something that you want to shy away from until you understand kind of the gist of the whole operation. And you can make sure and guarantee that you'll be on time to both of them. I love stacked orders, as they and when I say stacked orders, I mean from the same platform. So I'm talking about stacked orders from Doordash or Grubhub or whatever you're using. I wouldn't try multi-apping quite at the very beginning, but get a little bit of gist of it, so you don't mess up those ratings, because they are important. All right guys, so my fifth tip is a pretty simple one. When you're dropping off order from whatever platform you're using, look at the customer, look at the customer's name, and just be like, hey, we'll knock on the door and be like, hey, I got a DoorDash for Dave, or whatever their guy's name is. And that really goes a long way with your customer rating, as well as if you're doing other apps like Postmates or Grubhub that tip later, Uber Eats, stuff like that. They give you a little better tips, just being personal, you know what I mean? So that does go a long way, and that's something you guys consider. It's really easy to do. All right, guys, so tip number 6, this is factor in cost of gas and cost of living in your area. Now, most of you guys are probably factoring in cost of gas, as that's like the most obvious expense that you have in this business. But the cost of living is a little bit different everywhere, and I'm not quite sure that everyone does take that into effect. Like for an example, I have a buddy who dashes in San Francisco, and living in California is a lot more expensive than it is here in the Midwest. So a $10, $12 order for him is probably more like a $7, $8 order for us. So that's something, or I guess me. So that's something you guys definitely need to take into account, as I don't think a lot of people do. So guys, so tip number 7 goes along with tip number 6 a little bit, and this is keep track of your expenses and keep track of your earnings. Now I know the apps that you guys are using, and I know DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, they have an earnings tab, and you can see what you've earned in that week. But I highly recommend you keeping track on your own, whatever way you want to do it. For me, I use the Google Sheets, and that's kind of how I keep track. I just made a simple earnings, expense, and then net profit, basically. It's really easy to set up. If you guys don't know how to set it up, I know there's millions of, or I guess hundreds of videos out there on YouTube that you can find that'll help you set it up really easily. But I recommend this just because you can keep track of multiple. You can keep track of your gas, the food that you buy, because I know, like me, I get a little hungry, so where I'm around, I'll just pick up like a snack or something. Whatever other expenses you might have, to make sure you really know how much you're earning, so you're not out here just wasting your time. All right, guys, so my tip number 8, my last tip, is avoid confrontation with customers as much as you can. If you get a text from a customer with a vulgar text or something like that, just say, hey, you can contact customer support, as they will be able to help you better than I will, because I guess participating in that kind of behavior is just only going to lead to a poor customer rating, and that really hurts you, especially if you're one of the newer dashers, you know what I mean? So just refer them to customer service. It'll save you a lot of time, and it'll maybe save your customer rating. And a story for this is my brother delivered to a lady with we think she has Alzheimer's, based on what we have based on what he's told me. Basically what happened was he dropped off her food, and she was kind of stunned when he got there, and she was like, okay, and she took it. And then later he got a call from her, and she was like, hey, where's my food? And he was like, well, I dropped it off about 20 minutes ago. So that was like kind of the whole situation, and she started, I guess, having a vulgar response to my brother. And basically what he did was he got on contact with customer support, and had them help handle the situation. But it did cost him about 30-45 minutes of time, which is quite a bit of time for those of you guys that know, or have been driving around a little bit. That's quite a bit of chunk of your shift to be spent on customer service. So that, just refer them to customer service, let them take care of it. He was eventually okay, because they did see, he confirmed the order and everything was all right. So he was okay, but that's just something you guys need to be aware of when you are delivering. So if you guys did learn something or enjoy this video, please hit the like button, as it does go a long way, as well as hitting that big red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you for your time.